Hi, Andrea.
Hello. Hi there.
Hi, Oliver.
Hi, team.
Good morning, folks. Or
Hi there.
good time zone appropriate greeting.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Tracy.
Morning, Tracy.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Good.
I don't see it done yet.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Dan.
Looks like is there recording starting?
We're recording.
Yeah, there we are. Let me pull up the agenda and give people a few more minutes to hop in. Share screen. All right. Everybody can sign in here at the top while we wait. Give people one more minute.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, Jason.
Hello.
All right. It is 4 after. That's long enough. We'll start with our updates. CDCon. Is it Tracy or Jackie or?
I'll let Jackie go. She's
Okay.
got the latest.
I've got the latest. Okay, cool. Yeah, so registration wise, I'll start off with registration. We are at total of 219. And then the breakdown for that is for GitOps Summit, we've got 211 folks registered. And for Spinnaker Summit, we're at 223. Let me just really quickly pull up.
Sorry,
some
Jackie, you said they were, it sounded like you said there were only 200 folks registered for CDCon, which didn't sound right. Sorry, you're on mute.
Jackie.
Did we lose you?
You corrected her right out of the Zoom call.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I went on mute. I'm talking and talking, and I'm just like, what is she talking about? I apologize. Okay, so let me start over. So total attendees for CDCon, we're at 1,210. And for GitOps Summit, we've got 211. And for Spinnaker Summit, we're at 223. So we're almost there. We're almost like at the halfway mark, inching towards it. So we're looking pretty good. Now, let me just really quickly add up sponsorship sales because we've got a few updates there. So for sponsorship sales, we are at a total of okay, 263,500 is either out for contract or has already been signed. So our goal for this year was 200,000. So we have a little extra 63,500, which probably will be less after Spinnaker Summit and GitOps Summit costs also get accounted for. So yeah, registrations, we're doing really well. Sales, we're doing really well. We've got one gold sponsorship left. So if anybody's interested, please let me know. So yeah, that's really the biggest updates there for CDCon.
Jackie, do you have the breakdown on the sales? How many are members and how many are non-members?
I don't think we'll cover that here, but maybe you can follow up with me after.
Okay.
I wanted to just give an update as well on the CFP. We have made a slight delay. We were due to kind of announce the schedule and all the speakers this Friday. And then I think when we had set those dates, we hadn't realized it was Good Friday and a lot of the team will be out. So we are postponing that. We are hoping to get the agenda for the GitOps Summit out on Thursday. And then we'll follow up next week with Spinnaker Summit and CDCon. So if you have submitted a talk and you're waiting to hear on acceptance or otherwise, just bear with us. We expect those to go out early next week. So thank you for your patience.
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay.
All right. Election updates. And Oleg was just asking about this. Tracy has been getting all the process sorted out with the governing board and TOC changes now. Do you want to give the latest? I think there's a couple different elections going on just to kind of.
Yeah, so if we focus on the elections at the TOC level, we're looking to finally on board some end user representatives. And so this election actually closes, we've had some candidates, end user representatives are voting for them. I believe it closes today or tomorrow. Gail's not on the call, I think she's out today. But we expect to announce those this week. So the election should conclude and we should have some new TOC members who are the end user representatives. And just for people to appreciate, we kind of split out the elections. So we know there's some seats around the projects and appointed reps which have expired. I think we're just taking a bit of time to get our processes right. And we did want to make sure we focused on those end user reps first, but we'll be trying to get around to those elections and setting out a clear schedule and process for those. And Yeah, and I think we can go into details on kind of the new charter and what those rules will be, which is some changes Dan has been driving at the board level. Anything else you want to say now, Dan? Is that...
That's good. Does that answer all of your questions, Oleg? I think you had some in the email.
Definitely.
Just want to make sure.
So, well, I was basically just wondering, passing a question which was raised in my company. But yeah, from the project standpoint, we are fine with the current situation because if needed, we have direct contacts with the Continuous Delivery Foundation, TOC, etc. So it's not blocking us in any means.
Great.
I guess that's the main part.
Cool. All right. Next one, GSOC/D. I put it there because of the threads about docs going on. I guess we've clarified there is no.
There is no docs.
No docs.
No DHSC.
Okay.
Yes.
That's standard.
For docs.
Not from the CDF perspective. There's similar
Okay.
docs at the project level. Sorry, Oleg, did not mean to dismiss Jenkins' efforts.
Well, basically, you said what I was about saying. So this year the program is different, so it doesn't make sense to apply as a foundation.
Yeah.
Jenkins has applied. I'm not sure whether others applied, but yeah, we had some discussion.
Ortelius applied.
Oh, great.
Other thing is we're missing mentors in the platform. I had pinged Steve. He still needs to accept his invite for Ortelius. And then Tracy, I just saw you on there. If you could find or get Steve to send me email addresses for the 3 other mentors that you have for your project so I can get them added. I'm going through the project page in GitHub right now and then trying to compare names to the list that we have. We do have 24 people in the system, which is good, but I know that we're missing probably at least half a dozen, if not more. So it'd be good to get that closed out.
We also onboard new mentors in Jenkins GSOC, so we will likely send additional update request.
Yeah, just get them over to me and I'll get them updated right away. Or actually, are you an administrator? You could probably just do it.
Yeah, I can do that. But yeah, for mentors, there is no strict deadline, so you can add or remove mentors basically at any moment until the end of the program. It's just better to have as many mentors as possible for the time of slot requests, because it will be one of the data points.
Yep.
And then along the same vein of GSOC, one of the things that Tara, Kara, and I are doing is we are putting together a testimonial video to help entice students to join or to select the CDF as an organization. So I've reached out on the Slack channel to ask for testimonials from 2020, either from the students or from the mentors. If folks want to provide it should be under 30 seconds, to be quite honest, a video snippet or a written testimonial, send that over to me by Friday, April 2nd, which is when I will be stitching all those little videos together. And then we are going to use that video to do some social media promotion.
And we got one so far. We got Rashad. So.
Yep. And so just to clarify, these is only for folks who have been mentors or students from 2020, not from 2021 or past years.
Yep. So currently in the Jenkins project, we have 2 videos under review and 5 testimonials from students. And hopefully we will have more because we want to publish them on our website as well. So Cara Delamark is working on that, and we will submit it until the deadline.
Cool.
Thanks, Oleg. I think that's it for GSOC.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, my dogs are barking, so I waited just an extra second to unmute right there. They're still going. Hopefully, they're not too loud in the background. CDF landscape. Was this you that added this morning, Oleg? I think I saw you typing.
Yeah, it was me. I just wanted to clarify the status of the projects on this landscape because, yeah, again, I'm rather a messenger there, but I would like to understand the status. Because if you open this landscape page, you can see that there are 4 founding projects and all of them are listed as graduated projects, though only Jenkins has passed the graduation process in the CDF so far. And I actually wanted to understand what is the source of truth, the landscape or the real status of the projects in terms of the TOC mailing list.
Yeah, you're definitely correct that Jenkins is the only one that graduated. We had a ton of confusion over the last year on whether, probably even farther back than that, on whether founding meant something, and there was a whole bunch of confusion on the website. The website should now be corrected, but even the website had things listed as graduated that weren't for a while before.
Yeah.
I guess we just missed cleaning up the landscape. We should definitely do that.
So for landscape, my understanding that the current landscape engine doesn't support founding project as a type. So I guess the only way would be to mark the project as incubating ones.
Yeah, I mean that's accurate. We should we should do that.
Yeah, I can submit a pull
founding
request.
was never really meant to be an actual status or anything.
Yeah, we just had some people who navigated to this page and got confused by the data there. And yeah, the same question is about categorization. So again, if you open landscape, there are 2 categories. One is pipeline orchestration, another one is continuous integration. And the current state is that Jenkins X, Spinnaker, and Tecton are considered pipeline orchestration engines, while Jenkins is considered as continuous integration engine, though it also has full pipeline orchestration capabilities. I wonder whether we could get rid of these categories entirely, because I don't think that they represent the current reality. Because yeah, orchestration agents and CI, yeah, all projects within CDF support all these capabilities.
I know Tecton was in something that they thought was the wrong category, and they
Tecton
a while ago.
Tecton was in continuous integration as well as Jenkins, but then it was moved to pipeline orchestration. And for Jenkins specifically, when we were working on Jenkins 2.0 in 2016, we explicitly changed the terminology and the guidelines for the project. So it's listed as an automation server, not as continuous integration server, because Jenkins addresses other needs. And we don't consider Jenkins as only continuous integration server in the project.
I think, Tari, you're probably more familiar with the way the landscape works. Do you have any suggestions?
Are you speaking, Tari? He's unmuted.
Yeah, I pulled the Jacqueline. Sorry. I am actually not an expert in this platform. I say it with love. I'm not an expert in the platform. Marky and I had started to look into this stuff, and there's a bunch of outstanding issues. I just pulled it up now, but it is technically on my plate, so I will take this action item to go dig into this.
Yeah, and one thing I do recall, in that discussion we had that issue came up, and it it's not just Jenkins, but there were multiple tools that felt they could be in different boxes, and GitLab was the other example of the fact it's not in version control, but only shown in pipeline orchestration. It definitely confuses people.
So we had a policy that things were only supposed to be in one category because we were scared of what was happening at the CNCF landscape level, but
yes, and the CNCF landscape
overly restrictive.
The CNCF landscape only allows you to be in one box. And we followed the same exact rules of the CNCF landscape. So for example, we could put deploy hub in like all of these boxes if we really wanted to, because we could call it a container security tool, and so we could add ourselves as container security. So we were trying to be careful about what is the primary what is the tool's primary solution. And we were following the CNCF's rules on how to build it out.
Okay.
And Dan worked with me on putting this together.
Dan Lopez, right? Just to be clear.
No,
Really? I did?
no, Dan Cohn.
Oh, Dan Cohen. Sorry. Too many Dans.
Too many Dans.
Yeah, no, Dan and I worked on this. He pretty much built out the framework for it. I worked on initially trying to build out the categories. We passed it off to KK. He took a look at it. The TOC looked at it at that point in time. Agreed that we would follow the CNCF rules, and then came up with these categories. It's really easy to change. It's all, in YAML, so you can create your own pull request to update any of this. I don't see any problem with getting rid of the continuous integration category. Doesn't matter to me, but I would say that if GitLab wants to, for example, if GitLab felt like they should be in version control and they should be in orchestration and they should be in deployment, it's going to clutter up the landscape. I think that the guidelines from the CNCF to say you have to choose your primary focus is a good one, and I would hate for us to not follow it.
That said, I worry about oversimplifying. So perhaps there's another mechanism that we could use. Let me think on this.
Maybe it's a subject for creating additional categories. I have no opinion on GitLab location, but yeah, for CI/CD engines and for automation servers, we could just categorize the projects, because there are clear integration clear orchestration engines like Spinnaker and Jenkins X. They do not do CI/CD on their own, so they could be in this category. For example, Tecton, at least in my opinion, is rather pipeline engine, not an orchestration engine. But I guess they may have different opinion. And in the case of Jenkins, again, it's both orchestration server or pipeline engine. But in our case, I would rather call it a generic automation server. Automation framework.
And that would be for that whole category. I think that's a great enhancement to this.
Mm-hmm. So
just to rename that whole category.
I can suggest a pull request for this change.
You can.
That'd be great.
It's all you can, and that's for anybody who wants to add their logo to a category. If you will get an error though if you have a logo in one category and you're trying to put it in a second category, because it does look for that. But yeah, it's super easy, Oleg, to make changes to it and just add stuff or modify it.
Okay. Maybe one question about categories. So if a company has multiple products, is it fine to list all of them?
They don't in the CNCF. You have to figure out which area you want to have your.
For one product. But for example, at CloudBees we have different products.
I don't think so. Let's look.
No.
Okay, I mean, so that's one product.
That was one of the things that was becoming controversial, is people were like taking individual sort of named product spaces and scattering them everywhere. But like I said, I think we need to figure out a good system for this, because it's not actually, I think, ultimately useful to convey to people who are looking at it that, oh, well, this is just a version control system, or this is just an orchestrator. Somehow we need to give indicators that help people dig in a little bit.
There's a balance we have to strike, because we can't say that Jenkins does continuous testing or continuous deployments.
Yeah. So I think there's,
That I'm happy to just create a new category automation server, because it's not only Jenkins. There are other tools which would fit in this category better.
So, and I see that continuous automation category. I always thought that maybe should be something that we could broaden, because that's what people are doing. Mm-hmm. So it's got test, release, and build in it.
might be.
Well, and the other thing too, I think we should also review this in line with like the definitions doc that we've been working on.
100%.
So maybe we can drive that to at least a reasonable 0.9 version or whatever, and start doing some alignment. I think that will help too. And if we can somehow make a reasonable sort of visual connection between those two things to help people kind of explore this space a little bit more effectively. Okay, so Oleg, if you get that PR issue or however you want to track that into the landscape repo, that'd be great. Just to make sure I don't miss any of the great comments you just made.
Okay. Yeah, I will follow up separately for multiple products, because I think we definitely need to agree. But for first two items, I can submit a pull request now.
Yeah,
awesome.
I think with the multiple products, every company's got multiple products. You just have to ask someone like IBM, and they'd be able to have something everywhere. So I agree, there's a balance to be had in kind of having all the different ones, and maybe encouraging folks to focus on one area. It's something we can do.
I always thought it would be fair for if you have like CloudBees. CloudBees has several products that span all of this. And why not allow them to have the products that they do provide in each category? What the danger is having a single product be spread across multiple categories.
I think sort of well-named different ones. Yeah. So I think that's something we can look at, and just to be clear, this landscape is under the remit of the Technical Oversight Committee. So this is the right place to be having the discussions to push for change. And I think the timing is good now, just so folks know. Steve at JFrog, he's been syncing closely with the CNCF, and we're looking to do some tighter integration with their landscape. So at the very first level, there's probably going to be a link out from the CNCF landscape to the CDF one. And then we're going to keep exploring options to integrate them tighter. So on the one hand, we have to be a bit mindful of their policies, especially if we look to integrate or replace the whole CI/CD box with our landscape. But on the other hand, I think we should also be keeping in mind kind of our users and helping give them clarity from a 50-foot view of the landscape.
Cool. Yeah, it's not worth, it's not like we have to take the existing one as fixed in stone either. There's always some funny things we like to see in the CNCF one where it shows, because it ties everything to the company. And so people always joke whenever like my team at Google would publish a little open source tool, it would show up with like headcount of 100,000 and revenue of like trillions of dollars.
Right.
Just tie everything back to the same company. So we would always like to brag about that, how much revenue our little tool that one person worked on had according to the landscape. But it's a tough problem.
Yeah.
You probably remember some of those, Tara.
Oh yeah.
Scaffold, so much revenue.
So much revenue.
Looks like Andrea has to leave. Right. Jenkins Contributor Summit, next one.
It's a quick update from the previous discussion. So we have confirmed June 25th as a date for the Contributor Summit. We still work on assembling agenda, but we will definitely have a lot of discussions about evolution of Jenkins' technical roadmap. Most likely we will have some user representation there. And we also plan to have interoperability topics. So we already have stories related to Tekton and Jenkins integration. We also have discussions with the Jenkins X project, because Jenkins X3 is about to include Jenkins again. And we want to make it a part of the summit. So if there are other projects and contributors who are interested in Jenkins integrations inside CDF, we can also make it a part of the contributor summit. It's to be announced, but we hope to have the full agenda within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, cool. I think that's great. And Oleg, I just wanted to highlight, like, definitely within CDF, the other couple of projects that are getting a lot of interest and conversations are the Jenkins templating engine and Jenkins operator.
We contacted contributors and we hope to have them as a part of organizing committee so that we have representation from these sub-projects as well. So again, it's a community event, which, and we hope to get as many adopters and the vendors as possible represented there. And yeah, I started reaching out to stakeholders.
Quick stupid question. Sorry, back to the landscape. Oleg is, or whoever, is it just Jenkins or is it also Jenkins X that are graduated?
No,
I want to say it was
Jenkins.
just Jenkins. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and then for the record, even Jenkins means it's basically Jenkins core. So we didn't graduate our plugin ecosystem because plugin ecosystem is a completely different topic for our governance. So if you talk about, let's say, Jenkins pipeline templating engine, whether it's a sub-project or not, it's not graduated in our opinion at the moment.
Cool, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. CDF LF CLA guidelines. So who added this one?
Well, it was also me.
Okay, cool.
So sorry about putting so many agenda items.
No
yeah,
worries.
so in Jenkins, we have finished transition of the trademark to the Linux Foundation. And now we would like to clean up our contributor license agreement because our contributor license agreement still points to software in public interest, our previous umbrella organization. And we have a very tedious CLA process right now. And yeah, its tediousness is compensated by the fact that we apply it only for maintainers who need special permissions. And I'm not sure how is it sustainable from the Linux Foundation standpoint, and we would like to streamline our CLA process so that it's compliant with the best practices and the requirements if there are any. Unfortunately, I was unable to find the guidelines. So I wonder whether anyone has pointers to these materials. If not, I will just bring up the question to the Linux Foundation legal.
So I don't think we prescribe anything. Yeah, so Linux Foundation legal would probably be the right ones to ask. Like I don't think Spinnaker does anything here. Did Ortelius do DCO or CLA, Tracy? Do you know?
No.
Can't remember. Yeah, nothing. So
I remember we talked about this before, and I'm trying to remember what we said. I think, but I'm leaning towards at the time that we would, we could recommend having one, but we weren't going to prescribe everything is where we left it.
Yep.
I mean, we have used EasyCLA. Some of our contributors have actually.
So in our case, we have CLA and company CLA, but again, not for all code contributors, but only for maintainers with advanced permissions. So we would rather like to keep using this model, and we can easily apply easy CLA to that. So it's rather a question whether it will be enough, because we had a holy war about DCO, because the impression we have in the community that even DCO creates a lot of concerns why it doesn't really answer the legal side of the question about transition of patent and trademark, etc. So yeah, right now I'm not sure what we would do. At the same time, with regards to agreements, so Tecton CLA is currently similar to Jenkins CLA. Basically, the only difference is that software in public interest is replaced by the Linux Foundation. And we will start from setting up the same process while figuring out with legal what would be the expectation. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely reach out to LF Legal. I don't know that they're going to want to give you, they normally always say they can't give you actual advice. They can just explain things.
Well,
so
let's see. We already got some feedback from Andrew Greenberg, who's subscribed to the Jenkins developer mailing list. And yeah, maybe we'll find additional guidelines, well, somewhere in the documentation. Let's see. if I find something, I will communicate it back to the TOC mailing list. Okay.
Yeah, I think Tecton was one of the first people on board to Easy CLA, and it took some hand-holding. It wasn't quite as easy as the name described, but I think it's been quite a while since then, so it's probably easier now, because I think quite a few projects have onboarded to it.
Yeah, we're in contact with LFX product managers. So yeah, if needed, we have a direct channel to ask for changes, etc.
Awesome. All right.
One thing, the last thing I was just going to mention is that there is a webinar on Easy CLA running on April 8th. So that might be a good place as well to see if the general guidelines or how you can think through the decision making and get the latest on how easy, whether there's an easy CLA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you send this webinar, I'll find the link.
Right. Anything else for today? All right. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks all.
Bye.